to be asked by Four Corners to reflect on the festival through the lens of an object that has personal significance. It was a challenging task. But the truth is, there's very little I wouldn't do for Four Corners, because it seems to me that God has used this festival to make a significant difference in the life of this wonderful city over the last 10 years. And the object that I chose was my favourite mug. Because when I think about Four Corners, one of the words that comes to my mind immediately is relationship. The festival was, of course, birthed out of relationship between Martin and Steve, and birthed in the reality of the real life of this city, where we still tend to be separated by geographical boundaries. Four Corners encourages engagement, encourages conversations that are adventurous because we find ourselves talking with people and in places where we normally wouldn't find ourselves. Conversations that are adventurous because they're rooted in scripture and in day-to-day life, and they encourage us to wrestle with both of these. Conversations that are rooted in the real day-to-day life of the city of Belfast. I love and find myself returning to John Paul Lederach's definition of a place called reconciliation, which he describes as being a place where different and conflicting parties meet and honestly and in relationship face together the claims and tensions between truth and mercy, justice and peace. I think this festival is a place called reconciliation, a place where depth of relationship is encouraged, where difference is acknowledged and not seen as a threat. I value Four Corners because one of its starting points is love for this city and its people. And there's something in a cuppa that speaks to the best of the people of Belfast. Because at our best, we want to be sociable. We want to look each other in the eye and smile and pass the time of day and have a chat. At our worst, we build walls that separate us from each other and turn our conversation into hurled insults from behind our boundaries. This wee cup was handmade, and it's another reason for choosing it. Four Corners values creativity, whether that's reflected in liturgy, poetry, drama or music, storytelling or art. Creativity, that often overlooked gift of the Spirit that enriches our lives and is built into the warp and weft of this festival, unlocking imagination, art and music and poetry touching our hearts as well as our minds. And I chose my favourite mug because conversations change us. So often as we sit and chat over a cup of tea or coffee and engage in good conversation, we rise from those tables changed, minds stretched, imagination sparked, challenged or questioning or wrestling. Looking back over old notes about the festival, I came across a tweet that was written after the Listening to Your Enemies event, the conversation between Pat McGee and Joe Berry, the one that caused the riot. The tweet said this: "I cannot put into words how I feel tonight. I do know I want to help build peace in Northern Ireland, whatever it takes." God has used this festival to make a difference, to help us be less captive to the past, to imagine what the future might look like.